I told you I was listening to a lot of Chevelle,
Yep.
and I swear to you, I listened to them for I think about a year straight, probably, dude. Like I probably listen to that band 80% of the time over other bands. Like when I get compulsive with
Hmm.
bands, dude. So when I find a band I like, I'm gonna go through their whole catalog. And so I went through the whole made the driving so much easier,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
went through their whole catalog, dude. And man, what a band! You know what I mean? I mean, I went through. I think I first went through their um their second album first, the one that's got the red. Um,
Okay.
let's see, what is it called? I'm really bad with names sometimes. You know what I mean? Unless you want to talk about Metallica or something, bad at names and albums. But oh wow, it's Wonder What's Next.
Okay.
Wonder What's Next. I remember always hearing that song, The Red, right in the background. But you know how you always like listen to a song and you're like, you hear it from time to time throughout the years, but you have no idea what the artist is or who it is. You have no idea what the song is, and you always hear it and you always like it.
Hmm.
You always like the song, but you can never figure out who it is. So I finally, when what is it? Shazam came out. When
Yep.
Shazam came out, I thought that was just beautiful because I was able to just click on that thing, and boom, it told me finally after all these years of who that was, and that was Chevelle.
I do remember you were quite obsessed with the Chevelle band. Like, dude, I just listened to this album 3 times. Next time, it's like, what are you listening to now? Oh, I'm still on Chevelle. I'm on their fifth album. It, you just kept.
I just kept going and going with it, brother, dude. I
Okay,
mean,
well, we'll keep it on here. So, what album? Which one?
okay,
What do you like? What do you like?
let me tell you this, dude. Okay, Wonder What's Next. I listened to that. I listened to that record for probably about, God, probably about 3 months straight. Like I didn't even hear the other albums. Like I was just stuck on that album. You know,
Mhm.
like I'm just like listening to every song, like every detail, like everything. You know what I mean? Just like I was stuck on that album, like working out with that album, and that's all I listened to. It's just really weird, like compulsively weird. But so I listened to that out for like 3 months, and then I finally decided to venture off. You know, okay, let's hear what I think it's this type of thinking could do us all in. So I
Mhm.
started listening to that album, and I said, "Holy moly, this is great too." I mean, I can't believe I've been missing out on this album. You know, I haven't been. So I had no idea about it. So I listened to that album. I didn't listen to it as long as the Wonder What's Next album, but I listened to it a little bit, and then I jumped over to to Sci-Fi Crimes.
Okay.
Actually, I did Vienna Sura first. I think that's how you pronounce it. Um, that album was okay. You know, what I mean, I thought the first song was really good.
Mhm.
I think the first song is called Anti Saint. Great song. Listen to the rest. It was okay, but it wasn't like the other albums. You know, I thought that one was not as good as the Wonder What's Next and this type of thing can do us all in, but do us in, excuse me. And then, bro, like, I don't even know if you ever heard of these guys. Have you ever listened to these guys?
Nope.
Oh, please do, because after all these years, dude, I told you to listen to them. And
it, it, it,
thanks for being
it,
honest, dude. I appreciate that.
well, it's like I did listen to them, but not obviously not to the extent as you did.
Bro, you told me
I,
to listen to Ghost, dude, and I already listened to it or the whole album already. Dude. You mentioned it like one time in about 15 seconds, dude. The whole time, the
no,
2 years of UCLA, I was mentioning these guys.
no, I did. No, I did listen to them. I remember you did talk about like I said list like 3 songs, and I did listen to Red. And yeah, because I remember looking at this album, like, yes, I remember a lot of my friends had this album cover, had this album. I remember the cover. And then, quick fact, this album sold 2 million copies, and they gave them the main stage at Ozfest 2003. So,
Wow.
yeah, this had to be what Wonder What's Next was probably their most profitable album. And you're right. Red is that one song that always came on the radio. I'm like, it's not a bad song. I just never knew who sang it.
Yeah, and you know what's funny too is that they got them listed down as new metal, which I don't think they are new metal really. Yeah, I mean, I think this album was really good. I didn't think there was any album was going to be better than this album, but surprisingly, there was an album that matched it, and that was Sci-Fi Crimes. See, Sci-Fi Crimes, in my opinion, I think every song is great on that album. I mean,
Is there a stark contrast to the two albums? Like, can you tell, or is it just a continuance?
Oh man, that's an interesting question. I mean, you can obviously tell that the recording sounds different, the production's different. I'm listening to the songs in my head right now.
So Sci-Fi,
they're a little different. What's that?
Oh, it says the Sci-Fi Crimes. You said, what is it? It says jars and letters from a thief. What do you think of these
I mean,
songs?
those songs are good, but you know what? I always find out that I always like the songs that they're least talked about, or the least, like Sleep Apnea. They bust out with that album with Sleep Apnea, and it's just like an awesome song to start off an album. It's just an awesome song. I mean, it's an awesome live song. I think, you know, I mean, it just has a lot of. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. You know, what I mean, it's like trying to describe how steak tastes like. I guess you gotta listen to it. And then it goes right into Mexican Sun, which is a really good transformation, like as far as like the tempo of the songs. It drops the mood a little bit. So those songs are probably my two favorite off that album. Those first two did hard hit. And I remember talking to you about this, and I think you told me that you liked Roswell Spell. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
You do?
I do. Only, you know why? Because the name caught my eye, because I'm a big UFO guy. I'm like, all right, Roswell, New Mexico. I just randomly picked a song, had an interesting name. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so you said you liked that song, and I was actually surprised, because I was like, whoa, that I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? That was like right out of nowhere, but I was like, okay, all right, okay. And then I think every song is pretty much, I mean, in my opinion, and if other Chevelle fans are listening, I really think this rivals Wonders What's Next. I just think it's like, I didn't think there was going to be another album just as good as Wonder What's Next, but this one really rivals it. I can't tell you which one's my favorite. I mean, I like them both. They're both good in their own right, in their own place, And then all the other albums before that, they're solid, they're good. Like Hats Off to the Bull. Hats Off the Bull was, they had some solid songs off that, like Face to the Floor, Same Old. I like Same Old Trip a lot. And the other songs are solid too. It's a good. The thing about the band too, they have the songs just flow well. You get these bands they're like, especially new metal, a lot of choppiness with the tempos, like a lot of choppiness, a lot of tempo changes. The tempo changes a lot of just everywhere. What I like about this band is everything just flows. And like, if I was going to do a band these days, like if I was going to play music, what would influence me is the flow of their music. That's what I would incorporate with my music, is to flow like how they flow. Everything makes sense. All the parts make sense. There's nothing weird in there. There's nothing that doesn't belong in there. All the verses, all the choruses, all the bridges, all the outros, everything makes sense. And everything flows, and there's nothing that shouldn't be in there. Because sometimes when you write songs as a musician, at least for what I did, I'm like, I like this part, but I'm really forcing it in here. I don't know if it belongs in here. You know what I mean? And you kind of force it, but I feel like none of the parts in the band is forced. Everything just belongs there.